Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the 4chan hack that just happened overnight. Now, as many of you, were sleeping, I guess, when this entire thing took place. I woke up this morning and I see thousands of people online talking about how 4chan has been taken down, it may never come back, this is the end, all these different things, right? And it is pretty crazy because, at least from what I'm able to see so far, from all of the information available right now, this is probably one of the most in-depth, intricate attacks I've ever seen a website like this take. The people allegedly responsible for what just happened have apparently been attempting to exploit the website since all the way back in 2021, and they claimed that they'd had access for a year now. But if you haven't seen online, 4chan, which is probably one of the best known websites in internet history at this point, was hit by a massive security incident overnight. So from what I've been able to gather so far, this all kind of draws back to a beef that people on a specific image board on the website had with the overall moderators and people running 4chan. I guess this specific image board had basically been banned off of the website or had been taken down in some way, and it was /QA or something like that, right? But apparently they got mad or whatever that this was all taken down, and they decided to get 4chan back. And I mean, from what we're seeing here, they definitely got them back, if that's what they were going for here. I mean, we're talking about the entire source code of the website has been accessed and taken. The people who are frequently called Jannies, or the moderators on the website, they have all been exposed. They have been having their email addresses exposed. Some of them have even had their personal information exposed in all of this and are now being doxed and fucked with, probably. The people who hacked 4chan claim that they have user IP addresses linked to all of the posts that have been made on the website. They basically got everything, from the way that it sounds. From the way that everything is reading so far, 4chan basically just got nuked. I mean, it's really hard for there to be any other way to say it. I mean, when the source code to the website itself, your moderators, everything, right, have been compromised, it's a pretty insane deal. Now, it's actually so bad that as of right now, there's a lot of speculation on what the future will hold, but there is a pretty legit possibility that 4chan never comes back from this. You know what I mean? So of course, as I'm recording this situation is still unfolding, so there may be new information that comes out after this video, or maybe some of the things in this video inevitably come out to be fake or whatever. I will try to keep everything to what we know right now. So apparently the cause of this entire 4chan access basically by these people is, I guess 4chan, if you couldn't tell from the visuals on the website, has been extremely outdated in its code for a very long time now. Apparently the PHP coding and whatnot on the website is so out of date that it was just easy to access because it's in a version where there's a bunch of exploits and there's a bunch of security vulnerabilities. And I guess the people running 4chan, they never got around to actually updating the PHP, updating the code of the website, and as a result, they basically allowed 4chan to kind of slip into this area where it's way easier to be vulnerable, way easier for people with bad intentions to access it and whatnot, right? That's the thing about code and software and everything. It's the same reason why iOS updates and whatnot, and Windows does security updates, right? The longer that your code is basically out there, the easier it becomes over time for people to find exploits and things that they can do to access shit that they shouldn't be accessing, aka exactly what happened to 4chan in this instance. Now, not only was all the public facing code on the website apparently super outdated, and all of the security code and everything was super outdated as well, but apparently they were using an outdated function with their MySQL, which is the database that holds all the info for the website. Apparently they were using outdated shit for that too, and so their database was also extremely vulnerable. And it's gotten pretty bad, man. I mean, they're actually now apparently doxing the moderators and the staff or whatever that run 4chan. Throughout all of this, there have been some pretty interesting emails that have been getting discovered by some of these people running the site. Now, the rumor right now is apparently some of these moderators were not only using their real personal information for their accounts on the website, like their actual first and last names and whatnot, but apparently some of these moderators were also using email addresses that are super identifiable. Now, the word is right now that there have been .edu email addresses and .gov email addresses that have been discovered in this entire thing here. Now, also at the same time, there are people saying that the reports of .gov addresses are overblown. I guess time will tell, but apparently at least a few .edu emails have been confirmed. Now, if you don't know what that means, I mean, if you have ever been in like college or whatever, right, you automatically realize like this is kind of insane, because most of the time when you have a .edu email address, it usually contains like your first and last name, maybe like the year you're gonna graduate. It almost always includes the school that you're attending or that you work at or whatever, right? So for instance, like if I'm from Ohio, right? Let's say I was like at Ohio State, my .edu email would be something like optimus.ohiostate.edu or whatever, right? So these people who are the moderators on 4chan who had these emails, they may actually be in some pretty deep shit. If these are students at schools like this, right, they could be harassed on campus. They may even face consequences from the school itself. Obviously, 4chan does not have a very great reputation with like a lot of the normies or whatever. Most people like see it as this depraved shithole or whatever anyway. So it's not really the greatest reputation for like a normal person to see you have or whatever. But I think that might be just one of many concerns for a lot of these people. Like I said, these moderators are getting doxxed. They will probably be harassed and fucked with over this. Apparently, like I said too, a lot of the like IP addresses for users and whatnot have also been gathered or whatever by the people responsible for this hack. I mean, they got basically every layer of 4chan here. They got like the deep quote-unquote secure parts. They got all the information. They've got damn near everything. I mean, the website is still down as of me recording this video, and right now, I mean, nobody knows if and when it's actually ever going to come back up. Most people seem to be of the opinion that 4chan is pretty much completely done this time. There's also now, with the whole rumor of the .gov email addresses, I should probably bring this up too. Now, the conspiracy, which, I mean, let's be real, the conspiracy that the government has infiltrated basically anything, it feels like everything has been talked about, like, oh, the government is actually in this bottle of Sunny D in front of me, you know, like, it's kind of a thing that happens all the time online. But with the rumor of .gov addresses now being in the mix, which right now I don't know anything about, it's not confirmed, but it is like a rumor that's going around. If that does turn out to be true, now a lot of people are talking about, oh, the feds have infiltrated 4chan, the government has infiltrated the moderation of 4chan, which if that turned out to be true and the government did actually have people on payroll or whatever that had infiltrated websites like 4chan, it would not be surprising to me in the slightest. Not just because, you know, the government likes to stick its nose and whatever, right? But like I said, 4chan has a very specific reputation, especially when you look back to like the 2016 election and shit like that, right? 4chan has been notably seen as like an alt-right or a right-leaning website. A lot of the like memes and the images and like the culture and whatnot that comes from 4chan that inevitably kind of permeates greater society, a lot of it is seen as like degenerate or bad or whatever. So if the government did somehow infiltrate the staff of 4chan and had people on payroll basically like doing Janny sweeps and whatnot on this website, I would not be surprised at all. I couldn't be surprised. But once again, right now, we don't know that for certain. We don't seem to know anything concrete on that. Like I said, this is still a really fluid situation. But the way that it looks, I mean, I don't think 4chan can come back in at least the capacity that it was before. Like, I think a big part of the charm for 4chan, if you want to call it that or whatever, is the kind of old school message and image board look of the entire place. Now, when you look at that and then you piece together like, okay, well, all of the code for the website was outdated and whatnot, right? Like, it makes sense, but if they do want to make a return and they want to like try and bring it back online, obviously they're going to have to bring it all the way up to date, because if they don't, the same shit is just going to keep happening, right? Like, if they just decide, yeah, fuck it, let's just put the website back up, they don't make any changes or whatever, right? They're just going to be fucked with again. People are going to compromise the website again, so they're going to have to do something to like get everything more modernized or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, right, like with all of this shit that just happened here, like this is one of the more insane things that's ever happened in the timeline of 4chan. Like, that's kind of hard to actually say because like 4chan has had so many big, insane, iconic kind of moments or whatever throughout its history, but this is a pretty insane infiltration and hack by the people responsible here. This isn't just a little one piece thing that they got. This is like, they fucking hit everything. Now, as of right now, people have documented what appears to be the last post in the entire history of 4chan, and it probably isn't what you would expect. Now, at least from what I can gather from this image, because I wasn't on 4chan or using it or whatever at the time this all happened, it appears that probably like as the hack was going on and like, you know, the people were like defacing the website and everything, it appears people started kind of like in real time realizing something was going on, like shit was getting fucked with. So one Anon posted, "What the fuck is going on?" And then it appears, and this would be the last post that was ever posted on 4chan, if true, but somebody replied and said chicken jockey. So as of right now, the last post in the entire history of 4chan, unless the website comes back and they try to like reboot it or whatever, the last post ever made on 4chan is a picture of Jack Black that says chicken jockey. I mean, in a way, if this is the last time we see 4chan, right, this is really the end. If this is the last post that ever took place on the website, I really think it's pretty on brand. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty fair that if this is really it, that this be the last post, the last representation of 4chan or whatever, right? So, I don't know, it seems like a lot of people are really split on this entire thing happening, right? Obviously, there's people who are just like, man, fuck 4chan, I'm glad it's down, it's a cesspool, nobody's really losing anything by this website being down. And then there's other people who obviously they're just like, well, what the fuck do we do now? For me, if this is really the last we see of 4chan, or at least the last we see of 4chan in its normal glory or whatever, right? I think it's just kind of insane that this is the wrap up of a website that had so much cultural impression on the internet at large. I mean, a lot of people who have never used or like read about 4chan or really paid attention to it, I think a lot of people don't realize how many memes, how many references, how much like internet slang, all kinds of different things have kind of originated from 4chan, right? So in a way, this is kind of like watching the Notre Dame of the internet burn, right? It's like, it's a very insane kind of thing to see. Now, who knows how this is all actually gonna wrap up? Will it get worse? Will it get better? Who really knows? If it is true that the government and the glowies have infiltrated 4chan before it was down, it really wouldn't surprise me. It would be pretty, I guess, on brand news. Like I said, the government, they like to try and fucking infiltrate whatever they can. So as of right now, I mean, we're just kind of at the point where it like the atomic bombing happened. We're still just kind of seeing the flash, right? We don't really know the full impact as of right now, but things are definitely gonna change when it comes to 4chan here. Pretty insane moments. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the nuking of 4chan and signing out.